We are two male dietitians on a mission to improve your condition. It is our ambition to promote the importance of nutrition. We love food, we love to cook. We're just two dudes, come take a look. We are Andy and Joel, two dietitians with a whole lot of soul.
Hey Andy, how are you?
Good, mate. How about yourself?
I'm good, I'm good. Likewise. Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dudes Talk Nutrition. Thanks for pointing out my mo, Andy. It is late November. I've got another week to go with this furry upper lip, so I getting quite excited to shave it. But no, it's for a good cause, and I've raised a few $100. So, happy to get behind the cause. Andy, we were obviously having a chat offline, and we thought we would talk about blogging and maybe have a bit of a chat about social media and how that can influence our work, I guess, but also, how other dietitians or even aspiring dietitians can take some clues or hints about what they can do and how they can promote themselves using those channels.
Right, so I guess we have a ton to talk about on that subject, but let me start a little bit on blogging, because that's something, I'm pretty big on, and I try and, churn out, my blogs pretty regularly, and I really like them. I really like them because they are like very much a professional development and continuing education tool. So when you write a blog, and, for any future dietitians out there, if you're looking for something, to keep your education up, when you write a blog, you're forced to then research a topic, become knowledgeable on it, and then you publish it, and then that's your word that goes into it. So there's a lot of accountability associated with that. And I find that when you do the research and you publish, that then becomes internalized. So next time you're in a situation, you can then have a conversation about that topic.
It's amazing how much you can learn. It's true. And I think that's the predicament that we're in, because it's our job to translate that science into layman's terms for the rest of the population. So we're the ones that are trained in how to read the science and how to make sense of that, but also how to translate that. And it's really interesting. I've just been asked to write a little piece on oats, and how do you make sense of all the nitty-gritty science that people don't really care about. People just want to know, well, why are they good for you? Give me a few snippets of information of why they're good and how they can help. It's really interesting that you talk about professional development. I guess I didn't really even think about that. Absolutely. I mean, I hope that my professional organization takes that into account when I log my CPD hours for the end of the year.
Right, yeah, that would be great as well. I do, I think it's really important. Not only that, when you write a blog, and this is a message for all you future dietitians out there, when you write a blog, it becomes basically a portfolio, and, it becomes, a book of your dedication and your growing competence, because, every time you write a blog on a new topic, again, you internalize that knowledge. And as an example, I might write a blog on cholesterol, right? Refresh my knowledge, and the next day, sure enough, I'll have a client comes in, wants to lower the cholesterol. Now, do I already know that stuff? Yes, but how much sharper am I going to be when I've just written a blog on it, or whatever else the case might be, or whatever new research has come out? You know what I mean? So whenever young dietitians ask me, I definitely recommend they start a blog, because it's just a way to get your name out there. Of course, the only thing is that once you write the blog, you have to get it out there, and that's where the next part comes in, good old Instagram and social media. So why don't you chat a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I want to throw it back to you. I know we're shining the spotlight on Andy the RD today, but I admire the way you're able to obviously blog as regularly as you do, but with your social media account, particularly Instagram, because I know that's your main platform, how you're able to direct people from your Instagram account to your blog by putting up a quirky picture. And I know that earlier today you wrote a piece, I think, on fats and healthy fats. And I log onto Instagram, and there's a photo of you holding up some avocados and peanut butter and a couple of other little things, and balancing something on your head, perhaps. And I think that's a great way to promote your blog.
Yeah, and this is another really important lesson. When I first started blogging, I started blogging Instagram at the same time, and when I first started blogging, I was writing blogs, and no one was reading them. I was putting up pictures that were kind of crap, and I was putting the link in the description where you can't click on it. I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I mean? So that's the other thing. Blogging is great, but you have to have a platform where you're sharing your blog or where you're getting people to come into it. For me, I don't cook well. Right, so I can't use a food picture to draw people in. So what I do okay is I fancy myself kind of funny. So I use the humor to draw people in, and I work that into my blogs. So I'll write a blog, I'll take a picture, I bring people in with the picture, and then they stay. Hopefully they stay for the blog, and that's kind of the strategy that I use. And that's a strategy I recommend for a lot of people out there. Don't spend the time on the blog, but make sure you have a strategy, whatever that may be, to reach people. Because you don't want that effort as well. I mean, you still learn from it, but you don't want that effort to be for nothing. You want to help people, right? That's why you do it.
Absolutely. It's really important to disseminate it. And I had an interesting conversation with someone last night, and he was asking me about my blog. And I don't blog as regularly as you do. I was blogging for a little while once a week, but then work got too much and started blogging once a fortnight. But now I've just dropped off a little bit. So hopefully I'll get back on it early next year, but I think at the end of the day as well is you'll reach a wider audience because your blog, if it's connected to your website, will actually draw more traffic over time and you'll rank higher in Google. So that's the other benefit, and it's really hard to quantify. But I really like that you talk about your portfolio, and I think for both of us, I mean, we've both got writing interests, and I'm a media spokesperson for the association in Australia. And I know you do some media work as well. I think, it's a great way just to leverage off that and to showcase what you're capable of doing.
Absolutely, and I can say this as a fact as well. For whether you're a current or future dietitian, I've had clients read my blog, be interested in that topic, then they ascertain that this guy knows what he's talking about in that area. Let me come see him for further guidance. That happens quite a bit as well. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, it's a great for professional development. Just like Instagram, how many opportunities to talk about the opportunities on Instagram for myself. I mean, I didn't imagine the kind of stuff finding clients on Instagram, being part of projects. I met this handsome man from Australia here who I'm doing videos with on Instagram.
Surely that's the best thing to come out of Instagram.
This man is the best thing to come on Instagram. But you know what? That's the one other thing that I tell, young people who are asking what to do. I say, start building your brand now because you don't know. And look, you and I were far from the biggest dietitians on Instagram.
Totally.
That's the reality. Young people are doing way better than us, so we don't need to preach to them. But, if you start young, you start early, who knows where you can be. And I'm sure we both wish we started earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's funny. I think we're talking about setting the bar quite high. But I think at the end of the day, particularly for dietitians and aspiring dietitians, is just get out there, just have a crack. Because I think, unfortunately, our voice is getting lost. We're being drowned out by all these, self-styled nutrition gurus. And I think at the end of the day, we've got a healthy message to sell. Even earlier today, I posted a photo of a sandwich, and I think, obviously bread and carbohydrates, they're vilified. It was a whole grain sandwich with some lean protein and some veggies in there. It was a wonderfully balanced meal, and I just wanted to showcase that. So I think at the end of the day, just get on any sort of platform. Find what works best for you. I mean, some people like Twitter and they can disseminate various articles and research papers. Other people like Facebook for similar reasons. But if you're a visual kind of person, I think use Instagram. And I think that's why it's worked well for us. So...
Well, yeah. Do what makes sense for you. Yourself and I, we're both on Instagram, but we're quite different. You utilize your cooking skills a lot more, right? Mm-hmm. I don't have cooking skills, so I don't utilize them, right? So I have to then find something else. You may, whoever's reading this, you the viewer, you may be good at cooking. You may fancy yourself funny. Maybe you're, good at singing, or you're really good at talking, or you want to make a cookbook, whatever the case may be. Identify what you're good at, and let people see that, because people want to see other people who are good at something, whatever that happens to be. You know what I mean? That's what people want to see.
And they want to connect with, a personality, but they also want to get involved in. I don't know if get involved in your life is the right way of putting it, but they want to sort of follow your progression. And I think that's what social media allows. And it's a little bit voyeuristic, but I think it's just the way of the times.
Right, and yeah, and myself, I mean, I was so anti-Instagram, I couldn't even imagine going on there. And look at me now, I'm taking like ridiculous pictures of myself regularly. I mean, I just started Instagram last, I think, February, and I thought it was ridiculous. But then when you find the utility and you see the opportunities, I mean, you can't laugh, you can't sneeze at that. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is.
And it's a lot of fun. I had a discussion with a friend of mine who's a lawyer, and he's now a consultant. And I said, oh, why don't you get on social media? Have you thought about Instagram? And he said, well, it doesn't really work for me. No one wants to see photos of what I do each day. And I think it works really well for us because we can showcase, obviously for you, the funny side of food and show elements of your humor. And then for me, it showcases, I'm able to showcase food that I've cooked and quirky aprons that I've purchased along the way. It works really well for us, and certainly other dietitians too. So definitely, I mean, the message here is just get on there, have a crack, find your niche, and work to that. Because I think that's what we have finally done, is that we have found our niche.
And look, we're here talking, and this would never have been possible
without the power of Instagram.
If I had taken a picture with me holding bananas or putting a banana on my head, we never would have even met, right? So you just don't know.
Exactly, and engage with others, because at the end of the day, you might look at it and say, oh, he's another dietitian or she's another dietitian. We're competing for the same types of people, but I think at the same time we've all got to get behind each other to promote our brand, our professional brand, and our voice as well. Because as I said before, it is unfortunately getting drowned out.
There's a lot of people who need our help. We just need to show them how we can help them and connect with them in whatever way possible. You know what I mean? And that's what Joel and I are gonna keep doing. And anything else you want to add, mate?
No. I think we'll probably wrap it up there. But I wanted to add maybe that for the audience to feel free to reach out to us either on our social media platforms, but also to our email address, which is nutritiondudes@gmail.com. So if you've got any questions, if we can share any, pearls of wisdom, please feel free to touch base with either of us.
All right, sounds good, mate.
Okay, good chatting to you, and I'll speak to you soon.